we've read a lot, or I've recently read a lot, that you should always have a piece of aluminum foil in your survival kit so that, you know, when you're stuck in the middle of nowhere, you can whip your foil out and make a handy little cup and boil some water so you can drink and not die. Well, given most kits you're not going to be able to tote a huge amount of foil around, I decided let's be realistic, and I took a 1 foot by 1 foot square of aluminum foil and made this handy little cup out of it. This is standard gauge aluminum foil, Reynolds wrap, the kind you buy in the grocery store. I managed to make a cup that is 5 inches long way by 2 inches across that holds a half a cup of water. And I'm going to, instead of building a campfire, I'm going to use my handy little camp stove, and we're going to see if it boils it, or how long it takes for it to boil it, and how durable it is. Because it's foil, it tends to fall smooth apart, and it doesn't hold its shape very well. So now I have my half cup in here. Now I'm going to fire this up. My guess is that at some point it's either going to burn through the foil, or that the foil is going to become so brittle from being heated up and cooled down that you can't use it anymore. As you can see, my cup is dripping. And I had it before I put it on there that when I filled it up, it didn't drip. Water's nice and hot. But remember, in order to purify water, you have to boil it for at least 30 seconds. And now we're just waiting for it to boil. And a good boil for purification purposes is a rolling boil. So you can't fill your pot up so much all the way to the edge of it. You got to leave some room in there for when the water starts getting tossed around from boiling, that it don't all spill out. We're starting to get some bubbles in there. That's actually starting to get quite a bit of leakage over here on this corner. I got a nice steady drip. Now it's starting to get there. Now we got to roll and boil. Now we got to wait for 30 seconds. So there's 30 seconds. Now I'm going to turn my fire off. Now, because it's foil, I got no handle. So now I have to wait for it to cool enough so that I can pour it out. And the center here of it, right underneath the flame, the foil is already starting to get discolored. But because it's foil, it should cool down enough for me to pour it out here pretty quick, because foil doesn't tend to hold heat for very long. Now I'll pour it out. Still kind of hot. Let's look how much. Well, we didn't lose a whole lot. You see, we're slightly less than half a cup is what we have left of boiled water. Now, if that was creek water or pond water that I had filtered, at this point, theoretically, it's safe to drink once you've filtered the garbage out of it. And this one has a little bug growing and crawling in it. Now let's look at our. You can see the inside of the pot here is slightly discolored. What I find even more interesting is on the bottom you can see where the foil has started to actually melt where it was in contact with the tines. You can imagine, I would imagine another use for this would be if you, say, heated up some rocks in a fire and then set this on some rocks rather than these tines. You can see where the foil is starting to get brittle right here. I think it's a neat idea, but not very durable.